Opening statements began today in the high-stakes trial of Colin Gray. This trial marks the first time in Georgia history that a parent is facing charges for a school shooting that their child is accused of carrying out. Prosecutors say Colin Gray bears responsibility for the 2024 shooting at Apalachee High School. They claim that Gray ignored repeated red flags and warnings, including allegedly seeing a shrine his son, Colt Gray, made to the Parkland school shooter in his bedroom.
This is not a case about holding parents accountable for what their children do. That's not what this case is about. This case is about this defendant and his actions. His actions in allowing a child that he has custody over access to a firearm and ammunition after being warned that that child was going to harm others. This is a case about his actions and the horrific consequences of them.
The defense arguing that Colin Gray is being made out as a scapegoat and that it was a tragedy no parent could have predicted.
You cannot hold someone criminally responsible for failing to predict what was intentionally hidden from them. You'll learn about Colt Gray's state of mind that at the time no one knew. You will learn that months before the shooting, Colt had notes hidden on his cell phone from April of 2024, private notes that appear to be the planning stages of this shooting. Those notes were not known to Colin Gray. Those notes were not shared with Colin Gray. There is no evidence of that.
This is a potentially historic trial for the state of Georgia. Colin Gray is charged with murder and manslaughter. Nicole Williams joins me now in studio. She's been following this case since it started. Today was the opening statements. And what did you learn in court today?
Well, Sharon, we know that the lawyers made their opening statements today, and they really are trying to break down exactly what jurors should expect. The decision they're going to be facing. That shooting happened at Apalachee High School almost 2 years ago now. And tonight we talked to a local attorney about the case and whether or not he thinks this one could have a big impact on future cases.
Monday was day one of the trial against Colin Gray. His son, Colt Gray, is accused of the deadly shooting at Apalachee High School on September 4, 2024. That claimed the lives of 2 students and 2 teachers. In the courtroom, prosecutor Barrow County District Attorney Brad Smith claiming this case isn't at all about holding parents and guardians responsible for their children's actions.
This case is about this defendant and his actions. His actions in allowing a child that he has custody over access to a firearm and ammunition after being warned that that child was going to harm others.
Colin Gray's defense attorney Brian Hobbs breaking down to jurors their specific task at hand.
Your job is to decide whether or not Colin Gray knew what Colt was going to do.
We spoke with local defense attorney Keith Adams Monday about the trial. He has no connection to the case, but says this case is unique and one he's following.
The state is alleging that it is because of the recklessness of the parent that the child was able to commit the offense that they are charged with committing. So it's unusual. We don't see that often.
Colin Gray is charged with nearly 30 counts, including second-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter.
The state alleges that based on his recklessness, that he engaged in cruelty to children, and those children died as a result of his recklessness, as a result of his being willfully blind, or however they want to put it. He was reckless. His conduct caused the death of those 2 children.
This case is among 2 others where parents have been charged for similar crimes committed by their child, one in Wisconsin, another in Michigan. Adams believes this case could set a precedent and spur other trials in Georgia.
I think more prosecutors are going to be examining the behaviors of the people around these youngsters who commit these types of crimes. And you know, there are going to be legal scholars who argue as to whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. And we'll see how things play out.
Colin Gray has pleaded not guilty to all charges, and if convicted, he faces up to 180 years in prison.
It's going to be some difficult days ahead as we continue to follow this trial. All right, Nikhil, thank you.